3 new releases in the UK this weekend. One that's late, one that's very late, and one that's super early. So let's talk about the one that's very late. Detroit is directed by Katheryn Bigelow, the director of The Hurt Locker and Zero Dark 30. It's a crime drama about the 1967 Detroit riots, but specifically about one event that took place within the riots at the Algier Motel, where some pretty horrible stuff went down. Right out the gate, I'm just going to say, if you hate injustice, police brutality, racism and abuse of power, you're going to get pissed off quite a bit in Detroit, but in the right way. This film just gets under your skin. There are parts, specifically towards the middle of the film, where stuff's going down, characters are doing things to other characters, and you're just like, ugh. But like I just said, it's in the right way. This film wants you to get annoyed. This film is trying to get under your skin, and it's trying to aggravate you because this all actually happened, and that's what makes this film so effective. And the Algier Motel stuff, the riots in Detroit, it's all real. And I was just sat there because I had no idea about what happened in Detroit. I had no knowledge of the Detroit riots, so I was just watching this film going, Jesus Christ. And that's where I have to give major props to the direction of this film. Katheryn Bigelow, just like with The Hurt Locker, she plops you into these really intense situations, and you just feel like you're there amongst all the chaos and the uncertainty. But unlike The Hurt Locker, it's a little bit more personal with Detroit because it's a more confined situation, and it's really, really effective. I was like this throughout the entire second act of this film because they're in the motel, all the bad stuff's going down, the police brutality, the abuse of power, and I was just getting annoyed. I was like, okay, this guy, and when I say this guy, I mean Will Poulter's character. This biggest scumbag I've seen on screen all year. Will Poulter in this film, what an absolute douchebag. Will Poulter was awesome. I mean, I've seen Will Poulter in a few films before, but I've never really taken a lot of notice to him because he hasn't really blown me away that much. This is his best role I've ever seen him in. He was awesome at being a complete slime ball. It was a very, very effective film. It got under my skin. It got me angry. It got me annoyed, but in all the right ways. And because of that, I don't see Detroit being a highly rewatchable film for me, which is funny because I said the same thing about The Hurt Locker and Zero Dark 30 on my letterboxd. I just don't find them to be very rewatchable films. I don't know if it's a Katheryn Bigelow thing or not, but it doesn't take away from what she did with those films, and it certainly doesn't take away from what she did with Detroit. The acting was good, especially from Will Poulter. The direction was fantastic. It puts you right into that situation, and you just feel every single gunshot. I was like, ugh, because it was just so intense. People of the UK, go and see Detroit this weekend if you're not planning on seeing Logan Lucky or American Made. I'm going to give Detroit a 4 out of 5. Tell me in the comments below, what did you think of Detroit, and which film do you prefer out of Katheryn Bigelow's recent biopic movies, The Hurt Locker, Zero Dark 30 or Detroit? And if you want to see more of my stuff, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.